I'm back here for you. So this is Kristen, everyone, and this is my first time doing her hair, but she's my spray tan client, so I've seen her naked, and I'll tell you it's a great sight. We'll just start with that, why not? So I'm excited, you guys. I'm going to give you an amazing tutorial today. So you want to stay here the entire time if you want to learn how to take a gorgeous brunette to blonde. So that's what we're doing today, you guys. I'm taking a brunette to blonde. And I can't wait to show you my methods and my technique and the color I'll be using, because I'm switching it up a tad bit. I am switching it on up, and she's ready for a change. And I have to say really quickly that she's going to be amazing, sexy blonde. And I'm not kidding you. I just want you guys to know one thing, okay? As I was talking to Chris, I was like, you know what? Why are you wanting to be blonde? And she says, you know, I feel like I want to have a change, which to just have something different, okay? As a brunette, you kind of get to this stage in life where you're like, I feel blah. I feel like I don't want to like really do anything with my hair anymore. I don't really want to style. I don't really want to do anything. I feel kind of like I want to just be blonde to see how blonde personality acts. Is it true?
Yes, totally true.
It's kind of true. Honestly, being a blonde, you kind of feel different. And the reason why I can say this to you guys is because I have been brunette before. I'll show you a picture right here. So I want to say I tried brunette. It just was not me, okay? There is so much options of taking a brunette to blonde. Do you need to do it in a healthy manner? Yes. Do you need to use Olaplex? Yes. And also, it is possible to take a brunette to blonde, okay? So today, we are taking her blonde in a healthy manner. We are not going to be damaging her hair. If I have to pull out her hair the color before it turns to a crazy damaged situation, then I'm going to do that, because I'm all about healthy hair, but I'm also about getting the color that you dream of and that you want. We may be doing this maybe in 2 settings, but my biggest goal right now is to get her done in 1 setting. So we are going to do our best to get her blonde today. So you guys stay right there and you watch this Transformation Tuesday, hashtag. Here we go, guys. So here's the magic of all. You've all seen this before. Kristen's laughing in the background because the helicopter was messing up with the audio. So as you guys see here, I have Olaplex. You guys, I am running low. Like this stuff, I take advantage of. So I'm running low. I'm gonna have to go get some more. But I'm using Redken Flash Lift. How we are doing this today is we are going to go ahead. We're gonna put 2 scoops in each bowl today, because Kristen actually has a good amount of hair. You guys, do you see my gallon of 50 developer? Everyone's like, where do you get it? What brand is it? It is 50 volume. Color Capture is the brand, and it is a cream developer, and I actually really love it. So we are going to be doing a 50 developer and a 40 developer today, and we're also going to be weaving her hair with my strips, and they're my all-time favorite. I could not live without these. And we may throw some foils in there as well. But let's go ahead and get mixing up what we're going to be doing, because we are taking her as blonde as we can get her with it being healthy. 2 scoops of lightener. You need 4 ounces of developer. But as I've told you guys before, and as most of you guys know this, I am a dump and pour type of girl, and bleach really is more just something that you go off of your consistency, okay? It's not something like, oh my gosh, I have to use a perfect measurement. But normally it is 4 ounces to 2 scoops of lightener. And we're gonna go ahead and do the next one, which is my big massive gallon, because I actually go through 50 volume quite a bit. Then we're gonna take this also to 4 ounces. Perfect. And add in 50 vol to that bowl. Okay, so same exact thing, you guys. As you guys have seen my previous videos, you all better have already seen it. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Before I mix Olaplex, you're going to want to make sure you evenly mix up your lightener with developer very well. Now I really like more of kind of a frosting consistency, and it also thickens up once it sets, and Olaplex as well has thickened things up as well, so that's kind of why I kind of like to start it off a little bit runny. So that's my 50 volume. So I don't forget. I mean, I have a white bowl and a black brush, so that will help me remember that's 50 volume. But I want to make sure I do not screw that up, because how bad would it be if I put 50 volume on her ends and her hair falls out? We don't want that. So I'm gonna go ahead and place a little foil in there before I even forget. And now we have my 40 volume. But as you guys all remember and as all you guys know, is Olaplex dilutes the product. Okay, you guys, really quick, before I mix up Olaplex into my color, into my lightener, I want to talk to you guys about something really quick. Okay, I've had a lot of people say to me, you have to make sure if you're doing highlights or a balayage or hair painting or whatever you're doing, you have to make sure you follow the instructions. I am all about instructions. So based off of, 2 scoops of lightener in each bowl and having a 50 volume and a 40 volume, I want to let you guys know, as a colorist and as a hair artist for 7 years, I have learned what works for me, and I can tell you right now, Olaplex, I can customize it, okay? So somebody had actually approached me and said, hey, you put 2 scoops of bleach with 4 ounces of developer, which requires 1/4 ounce of Olaplex. Yes, in the books, in the rules, it's true. That does require 1/4, but I have learned through the owner of Olaplex, Dean, and Jordan, who also is like the head honcho of Olaplex as well. I have actually talked with them, and they say, you know what, if you're feeling like you're not getting enough lifting, if you're feeling like it's taking forever to process, go ahead and just break the rules a little bit and don't use a full 1/4 ounce. Okay, this is not for beginners. This is for advanced colorists. I don't want you guys to be watching this video if you're in cosmetology school and be like, oh, well, that blonde girl Mandy said that you only had to use 1/8 ounce and 2 scoops of bleach. So I want to really clearly go over this. I am an advanced colorist and I know what I'm doing, and I want you to know that because I'm taking a brunette to blonde, I don't want a ton of diluting, but I also want to keep health. As long as Olaplex is in my mixture, I'm saved, okay? So what I'm going to be doing is customizing my Olaplex with my mixture today. And I'm going to show you what I'll be doing with that. With my 50 volume, I'm going to be putting in 1/4 ounce, okay? Because I want my 50 volume to stay really healthy, okay? So 50 volume will have 1/4 ounce. Whoop. And that's all it requires, okay? My 40 volume, which will be diluted now down to 30, I'm going to be putting at a 1/8 ounce, okay? And the reason why is because it's a lower volume of developer, and I don't need a ton of lifting with my 40 volume. I have actually done a lot of Olaplex treatments and a lot of Olaplex colors now, and I have learned what works, and I have learned what works best for me. So I want you guys to be aware that, like I said before, please follow the rules and instructions, because it could be messed up. You could mess it up if you don't add the right amount of Olaplex. But whatever it is, you have to use 1/8 ounce, okay? So I asked her, I've had a little mini consultation with her. Where do you part your hair? That is huge. When you start coloring hair, you gotta learn where they part their hair, okay? So Kristen, she mixes up her parting between the middle and kind of off to the side, okay? So sectioning is huge. Okay, you guys, I want to talk to you why I'm mixing up 2 different lighteners. So Kristen has on her ends a slight melt sombre action happening. So her ends are pre-lightened already. Through the roots all the way down to the mid-shaft section, I want to make sure this is going to be a 40 volume. Then I want to make sure her ends are going to be a 30 volume. Okay, you guys, so really quickly, I just remembered that I want to do 3 colors, okay? So I'm going to be using Color Fusion. It is a permanent color, and it's the color 12 Ash Violet, and it's one of my very favorite colors to either break the base or do a high lift, okay? So normally, as you learn in hair school, color does not lift color. Well, I'm not necessarily trying to get this color to be completely platinum, but what I want to accomplish with this is at least 1 or 2 shades lighter. This is going to be the color that will be applied onto the subsection of the hair. Perfect. I will be adding Olaplex to this color as well because I want to keep health. So all I want to add on that color is I want to add in 1/8 ounce. So what this is going to be doing, you guys, is this will at least process the hair at least 2 shades lighter, even though it is color. I actually know this because I've done it before and I've seen results and I know it works. So I either like to break the base with this color or I like to add it in as a low light a low light highlight. So this will be more of like a pretty beige blonde versus a super platinum blonde. I'm going to take it all the way down against the nape. And all this hair underneath here, you guys, is normally the hair that has the most breakage because you're always pulling it up. So I want to make sure this baby down here stays healthy. I'm going to be doing a very fine weave. And the reason why I'm doing fine is because when you're taking somebody lighter and blonder, you want to make sure that it's very fine. I'll be using a 30 volume back here until the mid shaft section because that way I know her hair is going to stay healthy. So I'm going to just take my color strip, my color paper right here, and I'm going to be adding in my 30 vol all the way to the root, all the way to the ends. Once I place the bleach onto the hair, I like to then take it and feather it as close as the root as I possibly can. But in this situation, I'm actually not going to be touching the rooty section. I'm going to keep out about a 1/4 inch of her natural virgin hair out because actually at the end of the process, meaning probably not today, but when she comes back in 6 weeks to get some touch-ups, we want to smudge her hair with her natural color so she doesn't have to worry about line of demarcation coming through. So my biggest goal is to just make sure we feather through the area, keep out a 1/4 inch all around the hair, and just take that and saturate it really good. Do you guys see how much product I use? That's really the best thing and best suggestion. So then with my paper, I like to take it and I like to go even above the line that you see, just so we have absolutely no bleeding, okay? I'm going to be working my way all the way up the hair, and I'm going to be using my 30 volume lightener with subsections with 12 ash violet. So next section, and now I'm going to be working my way with two. I'm going to split that in half. I am very tedious and go off of very fine sections. So now what I'll be doing is I'll do again another fine foil, fine paper, whatever. If I say foil, it's just to have it. Sorry. You guys use these papers, you want to make sure that you're adding the color on the shiny part because on this other side it's more matted and dull, and you want to make sure you add up to the shiny end because paper, when it gets wet, it kind of disintegrates, right? So you want to make sure the shiny part's getting it. So then again, I'm adding in my 30 volume lightener, placing it right through here and running it all the way down to the ends. And you know why I feel comfortable with this? It's because it has Olaplex. So Olaplex is going to save the day. So again, not taking it all the way to the root, kind of just feathering it through the rooty area. And I want to make sure it stays saturated, really nice and delicious. I'm really pressing hard on this, you guys, so it seeps through all the way to the underneath hair. Press your paper. And what I like to do, you guys, because it's really hard to keep that paper pressed, it's going to slip really easy. So what I like to do is I take the paper, I put it all again right against the root, and then I hold the hair down and I keep the hair placed. I keep the paper placed by holding my hand on the paper. So again, 30 volume. Then I'll take my hand and I'll again kind of take the paper and move it on up. And then that's when you can feather through. And once you place the product on the paper, you're not going to have to worry about slippage at all. Pressing hard so the color seeps through. Pulling this paper all the way up to the mid shaft. And so I want to start taking my volume a little bit higher. Just doing a very fine weave. Taking my paper on the shiny side. Placing it, holding the hair down, and hold your hand against the paper. And then I'm going off of now a 40 volume. It's now time to switch it on up. So we're going to do a 40 volume again, pulling it all the way to the bottom. And you guys, it really is a very big deal to do your very best on pressing hard and putting a lot of product so it seeps through. Because normally with foils, what I like to do is I flip the foil, I check the other side, make sure there's product, and if there's not, I add more. But with these papers, it's tricky to do that. Once you add the product, you really don't want to replace this paper again. So again, folding that up, placing it that way. Take that paper and this hair, the subsection hair, I'm going to just take the 12 Ash Violet and I'm going to just paint it right on to the actual paper on the bottom, okay? And the reason why is because it's easier, it's less time consuming, and it works just as good. So this subsection color, like I said before, if I get a little bit of lifting out of it, wonderful, that's exactly what my goal is. But nothing to the point where it's like lifting 5 shades lighter. I don't expect that. As you guys can see against that paper, I would consider that a medium fine weave. Pull the natural hair, holding it against that paper, and you're going to be adding in 40 volume lightener. Again, not trying to get it all the way to the root, 1/4 inch away from the virgin hair. And again, if you guys are new to my channel, I want you guys to know that Redken Flash Lift is my favorite. And the reason why is because I've experienced for about a whole year of using the product, and I've noticed that the swelling is just perfect. It doesn't swell. So if you wanted to get it super close to the scalp, you could without any issues at all. Okay, now what I want to do is I'm going to take my foil. I keep saying foils, they're papers, okay? I'm going to take my paper and place it above, lift it open, and take my 12 Ash Violet and just paint right onto that paper. Making sure there's enough saturation. Perfect. I'm now using 40 volume up through the rooty section along down to the mid shaft, okay? So I'm going to take it and I'll tell you where I'm going to end it. So I'm going to go about, I would say right to there. So all this hair, I'm seeing a little bit of caramel. So again, keep help. So go ahead and just get enough product saturated into that. Then I'm going to be converting, as you guys can see, this is my white brush that I originally said is my 30 volume. So now I'm going to just take it to 30 volume. Because I do not want to fold the 30 volume and hit the 40 volume, I'm going to double fold it, okay? So I'm going to fold it there, and then I'm going to again place it and fold it up there, okay? And that should stay without any problems. So again, underneath, let's just take that subsection and paint on 12 Ash Violet. Perfect. So that's how I will be working my way all the way up to the to the mohawk section, okay? So when you start getting further up to the mohawk section, I have always taken fine sections all the way from the very back, but you guys, up here has to be super fine sections. So I'm gonna go in here and take a section that is completely see-through. Up here doesn't really have a ton of caramel ends, so I'm gonna actually convert back to using a full solid 40 volume. So again, doing a very fine weave, and I also am putting on through the subsection first, my 12 Ash Violet. I came up with another easier way. I keep coming up with easier things that work for me. And that's the beauty about doing hair is if something doesn't work, great, you change it. If it's still not working, fine, change it again. So before I actually place the paper on here, I'm actually putting on the subsection color first, and then I'm going in here and putting on my paper. So now I am back at putting on my 40 volume, okay? And up here on the top, because this hair is actually the most important hair on the head. Every hair is very important, but this is the hair that is surrounding all of your parting. It's gonna fall over each hair, and you're gonna wanna make sure that this hair is super colored and really nice and perfectly placed and all that fun stuff. So yes, again, go in here, just really saturate, press hard, and flip up the foil, the paper, and just place it just like that. And again, you guys, I am using such fine sectioning. I mean, this is the biggest trick as a hairdresser, okay? It may take you more time. It may be a lot more time consuming. Like, how easy would it have been just to take this big section and just slap color on? I feel like a lot of hairdressers, they become lazy, and that's what happens, and that's why they can't accomplish the right color. Every tiny hair counts to me, and you have to make sure that that is a priority to you, because when you're doing a transformation like this and taking a brunette to blonde, if you use big sections, it's not going to turn out consistent and even all the way through the hair. So I would recommend taking a see-through parting and go from there. So again, 40 volume at the rooty section, take it down through the mid shaft, feather through those roots, still keeping out virgin hair a little bit, and then I'm starting to see caramel. As you guys can see, do you see that caramel right there? I do not want to damage that. So we have Olaplex number 30 volume right through the end, right through here. So again, keep the hair healthy and keep the hair